let's add in a phone. So we're going to start off on the iPhone side of things. So all you're going to do,
Search for
iPhone.
your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
I'm just waiting for Bronco to pop up.
Confirm that the pin displayed on sync matches the pin displayed on your device.
Pins match up, which is perfect. Do I want to allow contacts and favorites to sync up? I'm going to say no to that one. Perfect, and we are fully paired there. So you
For
could...
your safety, please stay alert to changing road conditions and use Sync's voice-activated features while your vehicle is in motion.
Oh, well, thank you. So fully connected there, and then the vehicle also does support CarPlay. So with CarPlay, do you want to use it with the Bronco? Yay, nay, but just before we get into that one, you've got a series of other options that are available here. So you can activate your Siri Assistant by doing a press and hold on the steering wheel. So if you wanted to activate your assistant, you could go that way if you'd like to. There it goes. And then you've got your contacts, do not disturb mode, and a few other things. So you could stream audio over Bluetooth, but I'm a bigger fan of doing things through CarPlay. So do you want to use CarPlay with your Bronco? Yes. Enable. And we're just going to give that a second. Look at that. Fully connected. So you've got your basic little split screen there. You've got a full screen or a little icon view there too. If you wanted a full screen, see this little button along the very top left? You can push that in order to extend it out to a full screen instead. I mean, look at that. That is beautiful. You've got your current time, connection, battery level, which map was open last, which audio application was opened, and then which miscellaneous app. And then you can go back to this main screen instead. So main versus icon view, which you can also just swipe in between if you wanted to. But on this icon view, it's which map was open last, some basics, and then you've also got, if you've got an upcoming calendar alert, it's going to let you know. Series of different maps, which this is so odd. For whatever reason, this is still glitching out like this, where you've got just like, it's technically in full screen mode, but Apple Maps, and it looks like, I think Google Maps is the same idea. What's it going to do here? Oh, and now it's like even weirder with a split screen. Oh no. Oh, I don't like that at all. Oh, that's super odd. Yeah, so it looks like there's a little bit of a bug with Apple Maps, and I think Google Maps is the same. Yeah, Google Maps is the same way. So you could still technically use these things, but I mean, really at this point, that is really odd. Really odd. Yeah. What do you do? Oh, well. And then from there, so you've also got the option of going through. So if we go, oh, I don't like how it's doing that. Oh, well. Press this icon in order to go to route options. So if you wanted to avoid highways, toll roads, and ferries, you've got that flexibility. You've got map colors, satellite map, traffic, north up, etc. And then you could push to get back home. Waze, I think, is the only one that's working properly, where it's like a full, like true, authentic full screen. Any Waze users will know that's a little icon you can push in order to notify people of obstacles. No pinch to zoom across the board for any map application on Apple Maps, though. You can move around, but pinch to zoom, you'd unfortunately not be able to do. Moving back home, and then there are a series of different audio apps. You can listen to your podcasts if you wanted to. You can listen to different music, audiobooks. There are different apps available, library apps and things like that. So there's a lot of flexibility inside of the screen, which is kind of nice. Then you do have the flexibility of being able to adjust this thing a tiny little bit. So on your screen, if you go to General, CarPlay, find your car, you can forget it, turn CarPlay off when the screen is locked, or customize. So if you're not a fan of the setup, if you'd prefer to have your podcast there along with, I don't know, let's say Waze, you can adjust it that way. You can also start removing different icons from the view as well. So it fully removes them there, but it keeps it here. So you could add them back in there if you wanted to, but if you don't like what you've done on CarPlay, or on your phone I should say, you've got the option to reset, and you can bring it back to the factory default screen there instead. Pretty useful. Now, pushing CarPlay there does nothing unless you're off the CarPlay screen, then you can go back home there instead. And then if you wanted to, you could push the phone list along the very top to get back to this screen. If you go into phone settings, you're grayed out there because you're connected over CarPlay. So if you connect back over Bluetooth instead, so we're disconnecting CarPlay, hooking up through the phone, you can hook up for your phone or for audio if you'd like. Back there, you can then go and manage contacts, you can mute audio, roaming warnings, and all that fun stuff, or you can delete the phone from the vehicle. So I know that's quite a bit, but that's how you set up an iPhone inside of the Ford Bronco. All right, setting up an Android device is the exact same process. So if you weren't on this screen, let's say if you were back on the phone screen, I've obviously got that phone connected. So you're just going to settings, and then from there, phone list, and then you can just add in a phone.
Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
Just waiting for Bronco to show up. There we go. Couldn't connect. Okay. I do find that that happens sometimes with Android devices.
Confirm that the
there we
pin
go.
displayed
Just
on
pushed it again
sync
and it
matches
worked.
the pin displayed on your device.
So if you ever get a weird message saying that it can't connect, just keep on pressing or turn Bluetooth off, turn it back on again in order for it to connect. So we're going to hit OK and yes. Perfect. Matched up. Contacts.
For
no.
your safety, please stay alert
Messages,
to changing
no.
road conditions and use Sync's voice-activated features while your vehicle is in motion.
There we go. And same idea. So you could enable Android Auto if you want to. You could say no. Same idea. If I'm using an Android, may as well use Android Auto as well to get the most out of the phone. So it's connecting through. And going to continue there. Boom. Would you look at that? Fully connected. And same idea. So we've got this little split screen right now. And then from here, you've got all these basic options that are available. So you can push this little icon if you wanted to get to this little split screen. And it doesn't look like, oh, that's weird. So you know what? Oh, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Haha. So Android Auto, you do have the flexibility. I was like, you can go full screen on Android Auto. There we go. So you push this little icon there in order to go full screen, which still gives you this little split screen. So if you wanted a true full screen map, you're just going to push the map icon instead. And look at that. Full screen Google Maps, pinch to zoom capabilities. You could look for previous destinations or addresses, whatever the case may be. You could mute out audio, route options, so avoid motorways, toll roads, ferries, fastest route, most efficient route, whatever the case may be. Really straightforward. I love that it is pinch to zoom capabilities, drag and drop. That is beautiful. You can go back home from there. Again, you can see a ton of different things here now. So you've got your basic split, this icon view, back to the main screen instead. You've got your current status level with your battery level there, your maps, podcasts, and audio, whatever the case may be, and then Google Assistant. So you could push there for your Google Assistant or press and hold the button on the steering wheel in order to activate your assistant that way instead. Pretty straightforward. Now, I've got a few different applications that are there. So Waze and Google Maps are both showing up. But unfortunately, for some people, Waze on your device may not actually be available. So if that's the case, then what you're going to have to do is go through your phone in order to set it up. But if Waze isn't working properly in your phone, like what we're seeing here, or if it's not even showing up at all, I've put together a little walkthrough explaining how to actually set it up. So if this is happening to you, drop down in the description of the video in order to see how you can actually set up Waze to work properly inside of your vehicle. You've also got the flexibility of doing a few customizations in your Android device. So what you're going to do is search for Android Auto settings, you're going to click through, and that's going to bring you to this screen, which gives you a ton of different options. So you can change the layout, taskbar widgets, and a few other things, but the big one is going to be customizing the launcher. So very similar to the iPhone side, you could just do a drag and drop in order to be able to adjust any of these things, or you can deselect them. But here's the thing. It's not dynamic the same way it was on the iPhone side of things. So you actually have to get out of Android Auto on your phone, on the vehicle, launch back in for these changes to take into effect. So unfortunately, like I said, not dynamic, but it still is available there. Now, if you push your phone list along the top right side, you can see you're connected to Android Auto. So you can be connected to Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. You can't be connected to both of them at the same time. But one neat thing is that you could, let's say if you have one phone that you want to use for your phone calls, one for audio, you can do a mix and match if you want to. So it's either Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, or a mix of these as well, which is kind of nice. You can go to your phone settings, and then if you wanted to delete a device, just delete. And then same idea, phone setting, delete, and yes. And you're set to go. So it's that easy setting up Android and iPhone devices inside of the Ford Bronco.